starting in our 4.2, Lord, may you be with us when you're going out, and may you watch over us, watch our every step, God, and that you're going to make our Father. And we are praying this shortly, believing and trusting in your holy name.
No, it will not be wealth. We have given you knowledge. We have given you knowledge. Knowledge without action will not be wealth. It will actually be poverty. Hello? We are being told knowledge is wealth, isn't it? But knowledge without action will actually lead to what? It will lead to poverty. So you must be able to use that wealth, that knowledge that you have, to be able to create wealth. You must use the knowledge. Go out there and use the knowledge you have acquired to make wealth. Wealth can mean many things. It can mean wealth materially. That is what comes to our mind immediately when we are talking about wealth. Sindio? Unajiona gari nzuri, nyumba nzuri, you know, and all those nice things. That is wealth. But wealth also mentally. Wealth also mentally. It's very good to be wealthy mentally. Yaani uwe umechanuka to some extent. Umechanuka. You have some kind of intelligence. He was talking about wisdom. The knowledge of God is the beginning of wisdom, isn't it? That is knowledge, mentally, physically. I have heard someone saying here that we need to dress well because we are dressed the way we are dressed. That is also wealth, isn't it? Physically, the way you dress, what you eat. What you eat is also wealth. If you have been eating junk every day, that is not wealth, isn't it? If you have been eating a lot of sugar and all that, I know you are young and you need the sugar in your body, but there is that excess that sometimes we go to. There are those kinds of foods that we eat almost every day. Someone told me, my roommate anakunywanga tu yogurt, day in, day out. Yogurt ni tamu, but should you take it every day? No, isn't it? So you also need wealth physically. Knowing how to take care of yourself, even in body, knowing what to eat, knowing how to dress, knowing how, if you are not feeling well, how to even seek medication. It is knowledge, isn't it? Kuna watu wanakaa na ugonjwa, you become sick, you stay in the room until people come and say, hey, move out of here and go to the hospital. Isn't it? That is wealth, you know? Knowledge. We have wealth emotionally. Wealth emotionally. Emotional wealth. Are there people that are wealthy emotionally? There are people that are wealthy emotionally. When everybody is jumping on the seats, then they are seated there and wondering why are people jumping on the seats and protesting and fighting and all that. Have you ever seen people fighting for no good reason? Emotionally, they are angered, they are annoyed, they are what? Their emotions are all over the place for no good reason. So we also need wealth emotionally to know how to react and when to react and when not to react. Emotional wealth. Emotional wealth. We also need spiritual wealth. We also need what? Spiritual wealth. We also need spiritual wealth. You can only do well if you recognize a superpower in your life. If you recognize a super being in your life. There is a power. There is a being whom us as Christians we call God, we call Jesus Christ. The Muslims call Allah. You know, if you go to maybe the rural area and you go probably to Kisumu, they will tell you Nyasaya, isn't it? We refer to this super being different names. But when you recognize there is a superpower, there is a being that is greater than you, there is a being that can be able to direct you and to lead you again, that is what? Wealth. That is wealth. That is wealth. So, knowledge is wealth, and there is all this wealth that we have given you. So it doesn't really matter how long you live, but how you live matters. It doesn't matter how long you live, but how you live matters. Actually, someone said that some people sometimes, there are people that die at 40, but they get buried at 60 or 80 years. What does that mean? That your life stops at somewhere 20 years. You are living like a dead person. yet you are living, lakini hujakufa, si ndio? So finally when ukikufa unazikwa tu, lakini ulishakufa kitambo. Are we together? So yes, we are saying knowledge is wealth, but we need to use this knowledge that we have been given to make a life out of ourselves. It can be materially, it can be spiritually, it can be physically, it can be emotionally, all round, an all-round person. So what do we need to do as we are leaving the university? What do we need to do? We need to be intentional in everything we want to do. You need to be intentional in everything that you want to do. I did ask this question, and I don't know whether you need to ask it or whether you need to answer it. What do you want to do after you finish your last paper? There is a paper ya mwisho. After that, what do you want to do with yourself? What do you want to do with yourself? Do you want to expand a little business that you started? Or do you want to start a business? Or do you want to apply for a job? Or do you want to hustle? Or what is it that you want to do when you put down the last full stop on that paper on that particular last day? You need to be intentional in everything that you do. And in everything that you want to do, you need to be intentional. What is your dream in life? What do you dream about? He has told us about being given visions by God. Sijui kama nini mnasikia? Nasikia. Yaani anajua mpaka yule ambaye ataenda kusema na yeye I do. Did you hear that? Did you hear that? You know, hata yule anaenda kusema I do, tayari anajua. Si ndio? What is our dream in life? What do you dream about? What do you want to do in life? What is it that stirs you inside? Unajua kuna kitu unasikia, this is what I want to do. This is what I enjoy doing. This is what I want to do. What do you dream doing? What is your dreams? What is your dream? And we are told dreams are valid. We are told that, isn't it? Dreams are valid. But I want to say dreams are only valid if you wake up and do something about those dreams. Hello? Dreams are only valid if you wake up and do something about them. If you wake up and achieve them. If you wake up and work towards achieving them. That's when dreams are valid. They are good. They are good. Dreams are good. You know, they are good. You've dreamt. Yes, you have a goal. You've set a goal. But you need to work for that goal to be able to achieve that particular goal. So don't be a goal setter only. Be also an achiever of your goals. Be an achiever of your goals. Don't be a dreamer only, but be an achiever of your dreams. Be an achiever of your dreams. Be an achiever of your dreams. Be an achiever of your goals. Do you set goals? Have you set goals? People have talked about vision boards. Who knows something about vision boards here? A vision board, having a vision board. You can have it in your computer. You can have it on a flip chart. You can have it on a cardboard. Who has a vision board? There is someone who has a vision board. You have one? Or you know how to do one? You see, she knows how to do one, but she has not made one. Find out how to make a vision board. Where you can put it somewhere where you'll be. When you are going to sleep, you sit. When you are waking up in the morning, you sit. And your passion and your desire is towards that or achieving that. So, set your goals. Set your goals. When you're setting your goals, don't look at your past and don't look at your present. Hello? Don't look at your past and don't look at your present. Why? Because if you look at your past, you may get discouraged. If you look at your present, you may have fear. You may get discouraged. You may start telling yourself, he goal to achieve well. Will I really achieve this particular goal? When you are setting your goal, don't look at your past and don't look at your present. set your goal that you want to achieve, no matter how big it is. Remember, your biggest goal may be the smallest to someone. Hello? Your biggest goal, by the way, may be a very mediocre goal to somebody else. Isn't it? So set your goal not by looking at your past, not by looking at your present, but by looking at really what you want to achieve in life. Are we together? Ask yourself these questions. What would I be if there is nothing that I could not be? What would I be if there is nothing I could not be? Najua hiyo swali haijasink. Nitairudia tena. I want you to ask yourself, what would I be if there was nothing that I could not be? If there is nothing I could not be, what would I be? If there are not all those things that are crossing your head right now, if there was nothing you couldn't be, what would you be? What would you be? What would you desire to be? If there was nothing you couldn't be. If God walked here and stood here and said, I want you to tell me what you want to be, and there are no limitations, what would you be? What would you be? What would you be? And remember, if you can think it, you can be it. If you can think it, you can be it. What would I be if there is nothing that I could not be? That's one question. The second question, what would I do if there is nothing I couldn't do? What would I do if there is nothing I couldn't do? What would I do if there is nothing I couldn't do? Like right now. Right now. If there's nothing you couldn't do, what would you do? What is coming to your mind? What is it that you could do right now if there's nothing you couldn't do? Me, I could go to America. Not to stay there, just to visit. Just to do what? To visit. Just to see how it is, how the sun rises, how the sun sets, whether there is snow, whether there is what. I could go there. Would I do if there is nothing I couldn't do? If there is nothing you couldn't do, what would you do? What would you do? It can be in terms of your careers. It can be in terms of businesses. It can be in terms of businesses. It can be in terms of careers. What would I do if there is nothing I couldn't do? The last question. What would I have if there was nothing I couldn't have? What would I have if there is nothing I couldn't have? What would I have if there is nothing I couldn't have? What are you thinking? What could you have if there is nothing you couldn't have? What is crossing in your mind right now? If there is nothing you couldn't have in this world, what would you have? Now let me tell you, you can be that. You can do that. And you can have that. I don't know whether you're getting what I'm trying to say. You can be, you can do, and you can have that which is crossing your mind. Because if you dream it, then you can have it. If you think it, then you can have it. So if you're setting your goals, set them. Set them as high as they can be. Set them as high as they can be. Set them as outrageous as they can be. Because if you can think it, then you can be. If you can think it, you can be. If your goals do not scare you, then they are too small. I don't know what goals you have set for yourself. Ukitoka hapa for year. Lakini kama haikushtui hiyo goal umeset, ni ndogo sana. That goal is very, very small. If your goals do not scare you, then they are too small. If your goals do not give you anxiety, then they are too small. If your goals do not give you sleepless night, then they are too small. If a goal cannot give you sleepless night, if a goal cannot give you anxiety, if a goal cannot scare you, then that goal is very, very small. Actually, you are still in comfort zone. You are still in comfort zone. So you need to set a goal that will keep you awake a little bit. Sio upate sleepless night throughout the night, lakini ukifikiria unaweza amka useme Mungu nipatie direction because this is what I desire to do. If your goal is too small, if your goal cannot give you anxiety, if a goal cannot give you sleepless night, then that goal is very, very small. So don't dream about success. Wake up and work for success. Don't just dream about it, because the world doesn't owe you anything. If you want it, go for it. If you want it, you go for it. So I want to tell you to set your goals and be clear with why. Why do you want that? Why that goal? Why do you want that? Why do you want to achieve that? Sometimes people challenge me when they ask me, when you are young, what did you want to do? What did you want to fulfill? Sometimes I get asked that question. Even my little boy sometimes asks me, Mami, ulipokuwa mdogo ulikuwa unataka kuwa nani? You get it? What is it that you desire to fulfill? Some of you desire probably to help your parents because you have grown in probably a family that is not very stable financially. So you are coming to the university, you are working so hard, is so that you can relieve your mother of some of those challenges. That is okay. Stick. It is a very good goal and it's a very good why. Why do I want to work so hard? So that my mother cannot struggle the way she is struggling. It is a tick. And when you achieve it, you say, I achieved one of the goals. It is one of the goals. There are many other goals that you may be having. So set your goals, let them be clear, and let them be or have the why. Why do you want to achieve that particular goal? Do you want to achieve it so that you can show off in the village? Hello? Is that your objective? I don't know whether you're getting what I'm trying to say. Because sometimes the things that we ask for, when we ask why do you want to get this, sometimes our why is very poor. Actually, our why is very weak. So you find that actually, why did I even want to get this? I mean, really, why? Why do I want to achieve this? So that people can see that I have succeeded. Is that an objective? Is that a good reason? So set your goals and set your why. Why do you want to achieve that goal? Then come up with strategies to achieve those goals. Come up with what? Strategies. What is the strategy? In the next 5 years, where do you want to be? How do you want to see yourself in the next 5 years? Where are you seeing yourself in the next 5 years? What are your strategies to achieve those particular goals? What are your strategies? You must know the strategies that you need to be able to achieve the goal. Then you come up with the process to achieve the goal. You come up with the process to achieve the goal. Let me use an example. Is there anybody from insurance here? Probably somebody who did insurance or somebody who did become marketing. No marketer here? Let me use an example of probably a marketer or somebody who has done insurance. If you are a marketer and you are probably selling insurance, you as a person, you're selling insurance, you must set your goal. Maybe by the end of this year, this much money. Maybe it should be a 5-figure or 6-figure, income. You can set a goal and say, at the end of this year, I must bring my income to be a 6-figure income. So you've already set your goal. What is the strategy that you're going to use? I'm going to sell the insurance, or I'm going to market this product. Whatever product you're marketing, I'm going to market this particular product. Then you must set the process. How are you going to market the product? How are you going to market the product? Maybe you sit down and you say, every day I must call 5 people to explain to them about this particular product. Or every day I must walk into shops, this number of shops, and sell this product to them. So you see, you have set your goal, you have set the strategy, and you have set the process. Are we there? Then the last one, you must get into action. You must get into action, or you must start, or you must develop a habit. You must develop a habit so that you can be able to achieve these particular goals. Are we together? Now, as you are doing that, you must network. As you are doing that, you must become a brand. Let people know you as someone who is selling this product, or as someone who is doing this or that. You must be a brand. You must network. You must network. So that you can be able to achieve your goals. So as you continue to do that, do it consistently and persistent. Consistently and persistent. Do it consistently and persistent. I don't know whether Tosh would want me to share this. But Tosh, I called him today. I did not know that he would be able to record for me this. Because there is a time he got a challenge. Some of his equipments were stolen, worth hundreds of thousands. I am wondering whether some of you, if you are to lose that, you would not sit down and say, mimi hata sikuwa nimepangiwa kufanyaka hiyo kazi ya video, so wacha mimi nifanye nini? Niachane nayo. I have not even asked him why he got this camera now that he's using to record. But it was a challenge. Did he sit back? He sat back. He was hurt, of course. He was disappointed. He was frustrated. But he picked himself up and said, life must do what? Are we together? Life must continue. Nobody is going to stop me from doing what I desire to do. So you must set your goals, you must set your strategies, you must set your processes, and develop a habit or an action. Even when challenges come, you do it consistently and persistently. You do it consistently and persistently. Are we there? Are we there? I've told you, if your goal is so small, if your goal cannot give you anxiety, if a goal is not giving you sleepless night, that goal is very, very small. That goal is very, very small. So you must set a goal, and you must focus on it. Even when you get challenges, you still pick yourself up and move on. You learn from the lessons. You learn from those failures, or you learn from those challenges, and then you pick yourself up, and again you continue. Are we together? So you must set goals, and you must work for them. You must set strategies. You must set processes that can help you to be able to achieve those particular goals. And then you do it consistently. You develop a habit to continue with that particular thing. Then pray about it. Someone has talked about prayer. All of us, we have really talked about prayer. Why? Because there is nothing for nothing. You will pray, but you will work. You will pray and you will do what? At the same time. You pray very hard and you work very, very hard. I don't know whether I've told you that I used to be a teacher, secondary school teacher. I've taught for quite a number of years. I did my first degree in education in Moi University. I did geography and CRE. Then I taught for a number of years. Then a colleague of mine, when I was there in secondary school, every small case of a student needing counseling or teachers needing to consult, sometimes I would be consulted. Teachers, students, maybe they need to be talked to, I would be told, go and talk to that student, go and talk to that one. So I started doing this ad hoc, you know. You don't have experience, but unaweza ongelesha mtu, unaweza muongelesha. So a colleague of mine told me, hey Joyce, why don't you do this course of guidance and counseling at master's level? Then I said, me when I did my degree, I felt like it is enough. But I thought about it, I said, yes, I think I can do. So I went back and did a master's in guidance and counseling. When I did my master's in guidance and counseling, at Laikipia University. Then it was under Egerton. Then before I completed, it given a charter, so it became a university of its own. So when I did my guidance and masters in guidance and counseling, I continued to teach. But immediately I finished masters, I felt I don't want to continue to teach in secondary school anymore. Not because secondary school was bad. I told myself I have done what I needed to do. I have produced A's. I have produced students of quality. If I can tell you some of the students, even some of them that I see in the media, the students that have taught geography, students that have taught CRE, and they have made a life of themselves. So I kept on telling myself, I've produced students with A's. I've produced students that are good in the society. I need to do something else other than continue to teach in secondary school. And it began to give me sleepless nights. That began to give me sleepless nights. I would pray about it. I would search in the newspapers, searching universities, searching. Man, for me, my desire was to go to the university, not any other organization or institution. University. That is what I wanted. That's what I wanted to do. So I started by getting part-time teaching at Egerton University, Nairobi campus. There used to be Nairobi campus in Egerton University. So I got some units there to teach part-time. So when I'm in that class and I am teaching, I was feeling like, God, this is what I want. This is what I want. This is what I desire. This is what gives me, the energy and so on. So I will teach as I am praying. I will teach as I am praying. Searching in the newspapers, applying for jobs. I applied jobs. I applied up to KC. I applied one university. I applied Technical University of Mombasa. I applied. So long as I see it, I will apply. And you know, when you are applying in the university, it's not cheap. It's not cheap. Universities require 10 copies of everything. The cover letter, the CV, and your certificates. 1 copy, 2 copies, 3 copies, 10 of them. It wasn't cheap at all. Nilikuwa nabeba mzigo hivi na box, unaibeba hivi na box ukipelekea G4S, manake tena utaki kuweka kwa posta in case ilarukie huko. So I used to take to G4S. I really applied many, and I really wanted to go to the university. It gave me sleepless nights, to an extent that I would share with my children, tell them, me, I just want to leave secondary school. I just want to go to the university. My husband started telling me, hey, calm down, mama. There is a lot of things that you have been able to achieve. Count your blessings. Another career. Count your blessings. Count this, that. But I just wanted to go to the university. That is the passion that you need to have when you want to get something, or when you want to go somewhere, or when you want to achieve something. It should give you sleepless night to an extent that you cannot be able to rest. So after that, I applied so many, and I missed one. There is one that I missed. Okay, others I would go for interview. I was not taken. I didn't give up. But there was one that I missed because they called me for an interview through email. And I took time to read my email. Up to today, I still remember where I was seated and how I opened my email through my phone and how I discovered I had missed an interview. You can imagine the prayer in that place. But anyway, so I applied and finally I got the desire that I had in me to go to a university. God gave me what I desired. So what am I saying? Pray about it. But there is nothing for nothing. You cannot pray about it and sit and fold your hands. It will never come. Hello? It will never come. Miracles are there, but not those kind of miracles where you sit down and then you wait for manna from heaven. No. Even the Israelites, not that they were seated waiting. They were seated waiting upon God to direct them to the promised land. Then there was hunger and God provided for them. So don't sit. There's nothing for nothing. If you can dream it, you can have it. And after all, we are told the Bible says, ask and it shall be given to you. What else does it say? Seek and you shall find. Knock and it shall be opened to you. And the Bible is very simple, by the way. It is as simple as it says. It is as simple as it says. We human beings try to complicate it. We try to complicate it, kuijazilia na nini, but it says the way it says and it is final. There is no, Yaani Mungu hawezi tupatia Bible alafu afiche. You know, yani atupatie aseme nimeongea hivi lakini si hivyo, ilikuwa hapa ndani. You know, I don't know whether you're getting what I'm trying to say. Ask and it shall be. Knock and it shall be. Seek and you shall. It's as simple as that. But you have to work. It also says, if there is nothing you couldn't be. What will you be if there is nothing you couldn't be? What you are imagining you could be. Actually, God is saying here, no eye has seen, no ear has heard, no thought has. Sinasema hivyo? Rather, as it is written, no eye has seen, no ear has heard, no heart has imagined. Some Bible says, no heart has conceived. Sindio? Bible zingine zinasema hivyo. Sindio? What God has prepared for those who love Him. Yani ile Mungu anaenda kutenda, or whatever God is going to do in your life, no eye has seen, no ear has heard, no heart has conceived. Hata wewe mwenyewe conceive. Hello? You cannot perceive that. So don't limit God and don't set small goals because of your past and because of your present. Don't set small goals. I want in the next 10 years to look at you and say, this was one of my students. That this person has been able to achieve this much. No eye has seen, no ear has heard, and no heart has imagined or has conceived. Hello? Hello? Go out there and do something bigger than yourself. Go out there and do something bigger than yourself. Go out there and outdo yourself. Go out there and do things and look back and say, am I the one that has been able to accomplish this and that? And remember, it is possible. It is very much possible. Rich people like Chris Kirubi who died, are they not human beings like you and me? Are they not human beings like you and me? They are. Peter Munga, whom we gave an honorary degree the other time, is he not a human being like you? In fact, he started from a very humble background. He just sat and thought, these people who are getting checks from coffee, what can I do? How can I help them? These old wazees being given checks and they don't know where to cash them. Why can't I help them to cash? And he started something very, very small. Grew. It actually grew bigger than him. Now, is he the one who is doing that work? No. He has employed other people to do the work. Manu Chanaria is a human being like you. Maybe I'm Hindi, but he's a human being like you. Isn't it? S.K. Macharia, he's a human being like you. Isn't it? He's a human being like you. So go out there and do something bigger than yourself. Go out there and do something bigger than yourself. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. And it is just that. Mungu hajaficha. Mtu asikuambia ati hebu chambua Biblia vizuri, hiyo Biblia si vile inasema. It is just as simple as I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. What is it that you desire to do? Christ will strengthen you and you can be able to achieve that. Do you really need more Bible verses? It also says God will do exceedingly abundantly above all that we can ask or think according to the power that is working in us. Yani, ndani, huku ndani kuna power. Hello? I don't know what to say. But I wish you can just have, yani uone tu kidogo what you can be able to achieve in your lives. Kidogo tu. Ndio ujue ndio uamini ya kwamba you can be able to achieve great things in this life. If you set your mind to them, if you set your mind, you can be able to do great things. What would I be if there is nothing I couldn't be? What would I do if there is nothing I couldn't do? What would I have if there is nothing I couldn't have? Hello. What would I be if there is nothing I couldn't be? What would I do if there is nothing I couldn't do? What would I have if there is nothing I couldn't have? So choose faith as opposed to fear. Choose faith as opposed to fear. And go out there and do exploits. Go out there and do exploits. Tough times don't last, but tough people do. Tough people do, but tough times do not last. Every challenge has an expiry date. Every challenge has an expiry date. Every hurdle has an expiry date. And every problem has a solution. Every problem has a solution. So go out there and do exploits. Set goals. Set strategies. Set the process. And go for action. And go for action. Don't set small dreams. Don't set small goals. If your goal is not giving you sleepless nights, it is too small. If your goal is not giving you anxiety, it is too small. If your goal is not giving you fear, it is too small. And yet we are told we can do exceedingly, abundantly, above all what we think, according to the power that is in us. Not according to the power that is in the government, hello. According to the power that is in us. I wish you the best. I wish you God's blessings. I wish you, great life. Not just great life. I wish you life that is long and enjoyable. Long, enjoyable life. Not long life full of misery. You can also have long life, but it is full of what? Misery. But long life full of God's blessings and full of enjoyment. Go out there and do exploits, because He says you can do all things through Christ who strengthens us. May God bless you so much.
Amen. Peter Morombi to give us the vote of thanks for this moment, for every person who attended. And also, he is going to close this ceremony with a word of prayer officially so that we can release our officials and we remain in a So, Peter, welcome.
Thank you so much for this opportunity once again. I want to really thank all of us for having spared your time to be with us in this cake cutting ceremony today. We are much grateful. Let me say thank you to Madam for having spared her time to come and be with us as we celebrate the cake cutting ceremony. She taught us a lot today. She inspired us, and I know we are going to put into practice exactly what she told us today. Thank you so much. May God bless you, Mr. Martin. We are grateful once again for having come and be with us tonight. I want to really congratulate my colleagues for having made this ceremony a success too. Thank you so much, and may God bless you. Yes, I think we can now pray so that we can close. We can stand and pray. Heavenly Father, we are grateful this evening. Thank you for the life that you have given unto us. Thank you for the gift of health. Thank you for this ceremony that has been a success. We really thank you, King of all glory. As we go outside there, we pray that you may be with each of us, grant us with favor, be with us in each and everything that we may do outside there. We bless your name.